This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
I'm Elijah.
And I'm Luke.
And before we get into this interview with you guys, our conversations with the CHRILLCAST series, why don't you guys give everybody a quick spiel about your channel?
Yeah, so I'm Elijah from Rocket Sloth, and I'm here with Luke also. And we make videos on our YouTube channel, mostly around Halo stuff, but we try to tell interesting stories about the universe of Halo or gameplay of Halo, where we cover interesting challenges or secret hidden Easter eggs throughout Halo. We try to make it fun and kind of upbeat. I work on more of the pre-production side, so I do a lot of the script writing and voicing. Luke handles kind of the rest with everything else.
Yeah, I work on editing and thumbnails and SEO and all that good stuff. And yeah.
And they have a really cool channel, so if you guys want to go find them, go to youtube.com/RocketSloth. That's RocketSloth. And you can find them right there. So, since Will's not here today, I'm going to say it. Today is Wildcard Wednesday, and we've basically just replaced that with our conversations with the CHRILLCAST interview series, and we're doing it with RocketSloth today. So I'm going to get right into that first question. What inspired you guys to create your YouTube channel, and why the RocketSloth?
So I already had been making content on YouTube. I guess
A few days ago.
We both had our own channels and stuff where we were doing like video game content just on and off, and I was looking for other people to work with, so I kind of posted about it on YouTube and on Twitter, and Luke sent me an email. We started playing games. We played some Roblox, a bunch of other random games. Some Rust. We never played that again after the first time. Yeah, we played it once and never played again. But there was a lot of just like just kind of like when you meet someone that you can kind of get along with, you get that good chemistry right away, and we were able to make jokes and just kind of play whatever, and that flexibility and the fact we're on at the same times just made it a good fit, and we wanted to work on some video stuff together, and it kind of started with some small idea that was going to link a bunch of channels that we were thinking of doing and just turned into one central channel that we would both work on together. And we've been working on it since 2017.
It's a pretty cool story.
Yeah, it's
meeting people, over time, building a relationship, building a channel together, partners in crime, right?
Yeah, and what's really interesting is it was the schedule thing was weird because Luke lived in Germany at the time, before moving out this way. So we had like very different time zones, but like our odd times that we were still on, because I was in college at the time, just kind of overlapped, and it was able to work. Or I think Luke, I don't know, maybe you just stayed up weird hours.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I know I think Luke still has to stay up weird hours to accommodate my schedule.
Yeah, I mean, even without your schedule, I stay up weird hours, so.
How long have you been up today?
I don't know, whenever I got on last night. I'm still up from then.
So like 9 p.m.
Yeah.
10 p.m.
Sound a lot like my schedule. I'll just go with long periods of time without sleeping.
Right.
So yeah. Second half of that question though, where'd you guys come up with the RocketSloth?
I think we just made like a list of names we thought sounded like catchy almost, and almost sounded like a content channel that you would want to watch, like Rooster Teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And we just wrote like a bunch of names like Rocket Sloth. What else do we have? Weasel Pop.
Yeah, we had a list of like 10 candidates, and we just kind of just like anything that we thought would just be kind of a cool channel name. Like literally we sat down and we're like, okay, we're gonna start a channel, we need a channel name, and we spent like 3 or 4 hours in a call just kind of throwing words that we thought would be interesting. So I'm sure we had like rocket, and then we went through like a bunch of other words that could have gone with it and all these other terms, and literally that's it. It's nothing more exciting than us just kind of stumbling upon that name. I don't think there was anything significant that
and then we were
made us think of it, and I don't think either one of us specifically thought of the whole thing on their own.
Yeah, and then we were like, Sloth that hugs a rocket could be our logo, and
yeah.
It's kind of an oxymoron, right? A fast thing with a slow animal.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things we've come up with other names for potential things and other projects and stuff. And it's just really funny how sometimes just coming up with a random name, it can be really fitting in its own unique way. And I think having like a different name rather than just like a stereotypical name, it's kind of fun.
I have to agree. I mean, our name is pretty unique as well.
That's true. How'd you
It-
guys come up with that name?
So, for those that haven't heard it yet, basically, it was the combination of my name and my co-host name, Chris plus
Right.
Will. The first three letters of my name plus the last three letters of Will's name
Right.
equals Krill plus podcast, so CHRILLCAST. And then
Right.
our logo is literally it's more of a shrimp than a krill, but it's based on the animal.
Right, right. So how long have you guys been doing this podcast now?
We kind of started it like early 2019, but we didn't actually put anything out until like March.
Right.
And so we put out our first, and it's cringeworthy, our first podcast together. I've been doing the YouTube stuff in the YouTube space for at least, how long ago was 2007?
Oh, like 13 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So since then, but I've just kind of done various different projects over the years, never really settled on one until now, and I just really enjoy this one. So
Right. That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had a channel back in 2007, but like I was in middle school talking about I think like Pokemon on my DS. Or no, it was Sonic Rush.
Sonic.
I think I was just showing Luke that video a couple of days ago, and it was
Yeah,
it was
we're
pretty
just talking about it.
it was really bad, but it's fun. It's cool to look back and like realize that it was something I was interested in all the way back in middle school, and it's kind of something I kept coming back to over the years until finally kind of landing on this.
yeah, for me that would have been early high school, and it was me and my friends just beating the crap out of each other like Jackass style,
Right.
like that kind of stuff. So like those channels, they don't exist anymore. You won't find them.
Yeah. I kind of wish like some of those old videos I was in back in the day were still up, just so I could go look at them and kind of cringe for a bit, and then
It's
never
almost like
watch.
home videos, you know.
Yeah.
I have copies of them. They still exist. They're just not on YouTube anymore.
Right.
So how would you guys describe your relationship with YouTube and your social media?
Um.
Good.
Yeah, I would say good and getting better. I think a couple. There was a period like, I don't know, maybe earlier this year, the beginning of the year, where Luke and I were like, okay, our channel's growing a lot, but we don't have at all really that like dedicated following or like a community around our content. And that was something we kind of took note about, and we wanted to work on more like growing that community, because I think there's like a lot of value in having an active group of people who are familiar with your content, and you can reach out to them and talk to them on Discord, or they'll hang out with you on chat on Twitch and stuff like that. So because we were just kind of putting these videos out that people would just watch once and kind of click off and maybe subscribe, or maybe just they'll get another video recommended later, we weren't like kind of growing that relationship with the viewer like a lot of the big channels do a really great job of. So we kind of wanted to try to find a way to put ourselves out there a little bit more and interact with our audience, and I think we started implementing a lot more of different types of our personalities in our videos, and we started using social media more, like Twitter and stuff, interacting with other people more on Twitter, and then we started a Twitch channel earlier this year, and yeah, I think what's definitely has gotten a lot better in the last year, because we didn't really have much going on. We're still new to like the Halo community and to YouTube in the sense of the scale that we are now. Like, I mean, we like a lot of the people in the Halo community, they've been here for 5-6 years, and that's a testament to how loyal the Halo community is and how people still watch Halo content all these years later. But the fact that we just kind of came in at the end, we're definitely kind of new to a lot of stuff, so we're still learning our way through a lot of the confusing aspects of it.
Fair enough. I will say this: you guys seem to do pretty well on Twitter and your social media, but one thing that I think is highly underutilized, I think you guys use it pretty well. The community tab on YouTube.
Oh yeah, we only recently started using it too.
That
We
is
usually-
super awesome.
Well, yeah. We usually post like when we stream something that's interesting, like when we did Halo 2 Lasso, and then we streamed with General Kid the other day. So yeah.
Or someone puts a cool video out, we'll share
Yeah.
it or something. But yeah, community tab's really cool. We know that YouTube's really weird about when you put links that aren't to YouTube.
Yeah.
So we thought we could do, because we wanted people to know about our Twitch channel, which we had started this year, which but we didn't want to have to like do a dedicated video promoting a Twitch channel, and we didn't want to like stream on both or something like that. We just wanted an easy way to tell people from our YouTube audience, especially because we didn't have a lot of people going to our Twitter to more recently. So we needed to tell our YouTube audience. So we started mixing like community posts at the same time as when we're streaming. So we could put, you know, a meme up or something and then also be like, oh, and we're streaming. And then we'd put the link in the comment and pin it. And I think that worked really well to get us that kind of initial following over on Twitch and get us partnered and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how YouTube will selectively take like Twitch links are obviously not favorable on YouTube, but like Twitter and Facebook, they don't care if you share those links everywhere. So like I never share other video hosting sites in any of our descriptions, but you can pin a comment and YouTube will not have any issue with that.
Right. At least we have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with Twitch. They're, I mean, it's a direct competitor. It makes sense.
It
But
does.
the problem, I mean, not to get too much into the issues we have with YouTube, because for the most part, we really do appreciate the YouTube platform. But it seems like from what we've been able to like look into with statistics and stuff, that if you live stream onto YouTube, it counts like your watch retention and all of your algorithm stats from the live stream as if it's a regular upload, and then that actually can hurt your like subscriber rankings. So like you might not show up in your subscribers feeds if they didn't watch a large portion of the live stream re-upload. So we're always like kind of weirded out by the fact that like the algorithm like can hurt your channel if you live stream on your channel where you put out main content.
Yeah, and I think one of the shining examples of that is a lot of people have those second channels for live stream on YouTube. Like, for example, Eckhart's Ladder has X2, and I think he did that on purpose and decided purposefully not to stream on his main channel in case that type of thing would affect his main channel.
Right. That's exactly what we would have done. But we just decided we wanted to diversify a little bit, and we just, instead of doing a second channel, we just did Twitch.
Yeah.
Because it would be the same amount of promotion either way to get people to click on something.
Right, exactly. So either way, it would be, fair enough.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys wanted to say in regards to YouTube and social media?
No, I mean, I could talk about YouTube and social media all day, really. But no, I mean, I think we got the gist of it. There's definitely a lot of different opinions when you get really far into like a community like Halo and you go into social media. So it definitely has multiple layers to it.
Oh man, I really need to ask you this question next. Making that video on the Halo follower situation, do you guys mind talking about that?
Yeah, sure.
No,
we can
not at all.
Let's go.
How do you guys feel the reception to that video was?
Better than expected.
Yeah.
I think I was expecting a lot more backlash or pushback, but we also spent a lot of time in the writing phase of that, trying to make it as focused as possible. We didn't want to like go off on side tangents. We just wanted to make sure like the main point we were trying to make on like the state of the community and like picking the battles of you know, who really is like toxic in a community. And I think like the fact that we put a lot of effort into making sure like we were focusing on like how everything related to that topic more than just like going on like a ramble for 20 minutes. I think that probably helped because we were able to more directly put our ideas across without maybe getting lost in being unprepared in a video.
Makes sense.
Or yeah, just not like voicing it well enough. So we definitely put a lot of thought into like what we were trying to say and how to best say it in a video. But yeah, no, I think the reception was surprising. We reached out to people who were on a lot of different sides who had interacted with Halo follower back in the day. Some people who had maybe, like who weren't a part of the team anymore, who were a part of a lot of the drama that happened back in the day, to get some feedback on more so what they're up to now and just so the community can kind of move past some of those things. And we talked to Halo follower through email at the time. We talked to him after the video went out, and we've chatted with him a few times too. Pretty chill guy, and it was really cool. It really shows that a lot of the community has been able to grow. Like a lot of the people who've been involved in these channels, like they change over time, like anyone does, and it's cool to get to kind of see that update, to like see like where all these people are at now, rather than what happened when it was something really big in the Halo community just a few years ago.
Absolutely. There's still some archived Reddit posts in regards to that situation.
Oh yeah.
And I think since it's been so many years at this point, most people have let it kind of blow by. But there is a lot of vocal community members that still think it's an issue, like that's worth talking about this many years later. So like it is a touchy subject, but I think it's less touchy than it used to be.
The way I look at it is like he was like maybe a college student at best, high school student, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just didn't know how to manage people, and he messed up, and that's
Very
just
clear.
the reality of it. Like, and now,
like the
5 years
management,
later,
the management back when like I mean, if we want to get in specific, like when Chris was running Halo follower back during the time where all those people ended up leaving on bad terms, like he was gone for a while. He wanted to come back to the channel, and there just wasn't like a policy in place, or there wasn't like a management system in place that would ease one person into another. And there's a lot of paranoia over who was like really a manager, and like who was where in the ranking, like who ranked where within like the managerial system for the whole team. And I think with a mix of the paranoia and then all these changes happening simultaneously, it just kind of collapsed on itself. But I mean, and there's specifics, and we'll never really have the clearest detail like as to like what happened with some stuff. At the very least, like the people who ended up leaving, for the most part, they all landed in really cool positions. Some people went on, had their own channel afterwards. Other people got these really awesome jobs. And Ron from Halo Follower, he doesn't even have a team anymore. He just prefers working by himself because he felt like he can make good content, and maybe he Halo Follower doesn't need a large team of different people managing different jobs if he can just do the content himself. And I think that's actually a really cool perspective, that like it's something someone's obviously learned from and grown from in the same time. Yeah, and implemented stuff differently.
I would definitely say his content has gotten, it's clear that the production value is similar like from one video to the next, and it's more consistent than it used to be when he had a big team doing various different things all at the same time.
Right.
And consistency is kind of key on YouTube.
We also have to remember there hasn't been a main Halo game in 5 years.
Yeah.
And like trying to come up with news on a news Halo channel for 5 years, like you're definitely going to have to start coming up with theories at some point just to fill your upload schedule. So like, I mean, maybe some were hits and some were misses. I haven't watched, every video he uploads. We don't watch a lot of Halo YouTubers actually in general. So it's interesting though. It definitely is interesting to see how much backlash he was getting, or he still gets over the years. That's one thing that's really interesting. I think is that channel like would get relentless amounts of hate for a while.
Yeah, and I can't imagine coordinating a team. I can barely coordinate a co-host, let alone a whole team. So I give him the pass on that at least. I don't know all the behind-the-scenes details, nor do I really want. I don't really want to delve into that necessarily, in my career. But I did think the video was cool, and I was very curious about any kind of feedback you guys got on it.
Right, and there was other points that like we had written in scripts that didn't even make into the final cut for arguments across the board, and
yeah,
I think we just wanted to focus on keeping it as condensed as possible because I don't think people really want to even dive into every, ounce of detail of everything that's happened. But
I thought you guys gave it a fair shake, though. I did.
Thank you, I appreciate it. It was definitely a different video from the stuff we've done in the past.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if you've seen on Halo Follower, he uploaded like a new Machinima series. Forgot what it's called. Is it called Lone Wolves?
I heard about that. I haven't watched it yet.
I watched a little bit of it, and the motion capture animation is really good. Like for Halo Machinima.
Sorry, it's called Lost Wolves.
Lost Wolves.
Yeah.
I think it takes place after like the the Spartans left behind on Reach. It's a fan project, but it was on like the Halo Spotlight and stuff.
Cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Actually, I was surprised our music video made Halo Spotlight a couple weeks ago. It was
Oh,
cool.
really?
Yeah, it was fun. We did a Old Town Road Halo Infinite parody.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's
I think
on
I
our
saw
main
that on
page.
Yeah, I think I saw it on the Spotlight. I might have clicked on a little bit of it.
Yeah, it was us. There was another music one too. Another channel did a Breaking Benjamin cover from Halo 2 days.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome.
Anyways, we'll move on. I know you guys love Halo, and we kind of talked about this behind the scenes a little bit. But what are some of your other favorite series of games?
Well,
We've been playing Destiny 2 on and off throughout the last year or so. We like Destiny quite a bit.
Call of Duty.
Play Call of Duty every year when the new one comes out, but I don't know. I feel like we never stick with it too long.
I mean, that depends, I guess.
We gave this last one quite a bit of time before we
Yeah.
kind of got tired.
Well, I
Like, we
mean-
played a good 6 months of it.
Yeah. The ones before just weren't as good, personally. So
Yeah.
I guess.
I find myself going back to the older Call of Duties every year still. Like, just casually, I'll be bored. I'll be like, I feel like playing Black Ops or something. Or World at War.
You guys zombies players or not really?
Old zombies, yeah. Old
I like
school,
old
yeah.
zombies. I'm not a fan of the newer, longer Easter egg type ones.
Well,
And then,
how new?
Oh, go ahead.
How new are you talking? Like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3?
Black Ops
I-
2 is probably where I started getting a little overwhelmed
Fair enough.
with like all the complex Easter eggs. I think, Luke, you have a different opinion though, right?
I mean, I still like the Easter eggs, but I don't think it's as good anymore.
Right.
Or not as fun as like World at War or Black Ops 1.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. I more
It's
like
like-
the idea of just holding out as long as I
yeah,
could.
well, the thing is with these eggs, I feel like you can do them once, you look up a tutorial, and then it's done. Like, there's nothing, I don't know.
Right. Makes sense. We like Pokemon and stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luke's
Pokemon,
getting really
Animal
into
Crossing.
the card game stuff. I'm more into the games, and
Yeah.
Animal Crossing's another really big one. I'm really big on Animal Crossing. My wife's really big on Animal Crossing too. I have fun with it.
What's your favorite Pokemon game?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Emerald.
Ooh, Emerald's a good one. I like that one.
I'd say like Heart Gold and Soul Silver, just because it's still like a classic Halo, or not Halo, Pokemon experience from the, it being the sequel to the main game, and you get to go back to the original region, but it was remade with the updated mechanics at the time, and I
Mhm.
kind of liked that one quite a bit. Honestly, I've had quite a bit of fun with Sword and Shield, despite like the criticisms it had. I don't know. I think it's a Pokemon game. I liked it more than the Sun and Moon
Well,
ones.
Sword and Shield was the first Pokemon game I played since 3rd gen, so, it was the first one that kept my interest for long enough.
Right.
Have you ever
So,
gone back and played Coliseum or XD Gall of Darkness?
Not yet.
I had them back in the day. They're okay. I mean, I wish they had like some sort of like wild Pokemon encounter like the newer games have now, because I felt like eventually it just turns into like battle after battle after battle, and then like you turn a corner and then you have to do like 100 more battles, and like you had to purify your Pokemon and stuff. But I mean, I remember being hyped about them as a kid.
I wish they would have done more with it after that, because I felt like that kind of offshoot of the franchise just kind of died with the GameCube.
Right.
Well,
Right.
the
And
GameCube didn't do that well, right?
Yeah.
That's true. I think they kind of incorporated though the 3D battling from like Stadium and Coliseum and stuff into like the more modern games now.
Oh yeah.
But they still have a little bit of a more cartoony thing. I'd like to see them go maybe a touch more realistic, like we saw in I think it was like the Wii game Battle Revolution.
Yeah.
Really cool. I'd like to see them do that too.
Battle Revolution was cool. The problem was there was like no game there. It was just like battles, and that was it. There was no mini games like the Pokemon Stadium games. You also didn't have you basically had to load in Pokemon from the I don't remember if it was the DS or the 3DS at the time, but
Yeah, it
you,
was
you
the
basically
DS.
couldn't. Yeah, there was like no way to unlock the Pokemon in the game itself, really, other than
Right.
copying them over. So like I don't know, Battle Revolution is a huge miss in my opinion, but it was
of
cool
all
looking.
things, it had online matchmaking, which is
True.
like something that like they only added into Pokemon later on.
That
So it
is
was funny,
true.
like on Diamond and Pearl, you couldn't just play against random people in a battle. I don't think, unless I'm forgetting a feature. Maybe there was like some sort of like Battle Frontier thing, but I remember like playing on the Wii, connecting online and playing against like random people in a battle. So it's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any other series of games you guys wanted to touch on?
I'm sure there's more, but well, I've been playing like stuff like Counter-Strike and stuff for years too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
I like video games, so
yeah.
I play a lot of different stuff.
I'm still not burnt out of Halo, despite like I don't know. It feels like with Halo, like where you would normally burn out, I feel like I just reach another level of trying to dig in deeper to it. It definitely has done a really good job at like building an expansive universe.
The lore channels on YouTube really make me dig in more to Halo. Every time I watch a video, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I need to go watch. I need to go play another game playthrough of whatever game it was that they were covering at the time. Or
Right.
I do find that the community drives me to go back to the community in the games and keep playing.
Right.
And there's not very many first-person shooters that can do that, really. I mean, the closest comparison would be like Star Wars, right? Like the community drives more people back to the franchise, where like Halo's the same way.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think there's a lot of like things that are hidden, a lot of like allegories and stuff that are hidden in Halo that people overlook, or just really interesting like tidbits of lore that get translated into the game really well. And I think there's a lot that we don't even know about because we're still more casual players just digging in for the first time now. So I think there's also a lot of our audience are kind of on the same level as us. Like they're just casual players. They've played all the Halo games, but maybe they didn't like watch all the lore videos or jump on and read all the books yet. And they're kind of just going along the ride with us when we do a mix of just seeing what's possible in the game and what's not possible to us maybe taking a look at the lore for the first time or something like that.
Yeah. I think there's a value there to discovering a franchise at the same time as the creators you're watching in the same ways. So it's cool what you guys are doing.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to look into stuff. I think like the ODST video, I think that's one that was on a while ago, or it might be one on now. That one was really fun to like dig into the lore and come up with theories, and it's one that we still don't know all the answers to, so we're still looking and we're working on these theories we have now so we can revisit it soon. And it's been crazy just to fall down these rabbit holes. And we're working on another really long video. I finished the script yesterday. It was like 10,000 words. And it's going to be another one just that's really, really fascinating. And it was a lot of fun to research.
So, and given that you're talking about scripts and stuff, like what would you say your favorite content you guys produce is on your YouTube channel?
Recently, it's been like the mystery style videos a lot. Or the challenge videos, yeah.
Yeah, I think
I feel like those tell a good story always.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Like
That's
your main video here, like the beat Halo 2 without walking.
Yeah, or the no driving of Halo 3's last level and stuff. They were just a
That one's
lot of
always
fun to do, and then a lot of fun to like tell the story of how we did it.
right.
And I think on this one we spent like 36 hours on finishing the campaign because I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that's the big thing. It's
Oh, we
like
turned on. Yeah.
we try to anything that we can like tell an interesting story. I think that's the main type of content we go for. We want to just like tell our story in a condensed way where someone can get the similar experience of doing it or watching us do it for 36 hours or whatever without actually having to sit through 36 hours of gameplay. And we just kind of, or without having to do like a highlight clip. I think it's cooler to, tell our story, make jokes along the way, talk about what was challenging. And we try to sometimes point our stories as if it was like following some sort of actual narrative arc where there's like, an introduction, something that kind of picks things up and it builds up to like this big challenge or moment that makes or breaks it all. And we try to put twists and turns based off of what's happened into it. And, like we're doing a challenge and something awful happens in it. And we did the Halo 2 lasso, right?
Oh, no.
And we got to Gravemind and we've been working on a trick for hours and hours to skip the elevator to go past the prison, which is pretty much required. You can't beat that level unless you're very, very lucky with RNG, without doing this glitch. It took us hours to get it. We finally got it, like, I think we were like 6 hours into the run,
Yeah.
and we're moving on, and my internet cut out. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Oh.
we lost it all, and we had to do it again. And like, it's frustrating, but then when we get to tell that story in a video, and when that video comes out, it's like, that gets to be a cool moment, though. It's like a part of the story. It's a setback to the narrative. And I think that's what, those types of moments is kind of what gets us excited about making those types of videos, rather than just being like, yeah, we did this, and it was easy, you know, or like wording it like a walkthrough. We'd rather talk about the difficulties also that we face.
Have you guys done a video on the old Vidoc challenges yet?
Oh, like the Vidmaster
Yes.
stuff?
Yeah.
We have
Yeah, we did it.
quite
we,
recently, actually.
Yeah, we did
I
it
might
to
have
get
missed that one.
like what we had to do to get the recon helmet and stuff. That was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. A couple months ago, maybe like 2 months ago, I think we did it.
Yeah.
I must have missed that one. You guys are like us, putting out lots of videos, and like every once in a while you miss a good one, and I
Oh,
wish
of
I would have
course,
caught
yeah.
that one. But my buddy, we had done the firefight challenge in the ODST firefight challenge many times, and we got down to like the last round, last wave, and one of the people I was doing that with back in the day just like randomly said, guys, I'm going to bed, like in the middle of the wave as we're about to get the achievement, and he signed off, and you have to have 4 people at the end of that to get it.
Right. Yeah.
Sounds like a Destiny
Oh
raid.
my gosh.
That does sound like a Destiny raid. Do you play Destiny at all?
I did 1. I didn't play 2 at all yet.
Oh, yeah. That's the Vidmasters always remind us of like the raids in Destiny 2, because it's very precise like that. You have to have your whole team together, and everyone has to coordinate. But yeah, when we were doing our ODST firefight for the video, that was actually the only Vidmaster I never got in the day. I had everything else for recon. So we went back to do it for the video, and I would have unlocked recon had they not, just given it out to everyone. But it was fun because when we failed, we were on Lost Platoon and we failed. Like, some of us were discouraged in our group, and I was like, no, this is good for the video, because then we can spin it about how we had to try it again after failing, and it tells more of the story. So it's fun to kind of, get to go through these experiences, and just whatever happens, because it turns into something cool. We don't always
It's very
have to
relatable, that's for sure.
Yeah, we definitely aren't like pro Halo players.
Fair enough. I don't think I've ever actually talked to a pro Halo player, to be honest with you.
What constitutes a pro Halo player?
Mint Blitz?
Mint Blitz?
I don't know.
I would consider people that just live stream multiplayer on Twitch to be pro Halo players.
So like
Mint Blitz
Renee-
is really good.
Blitz?
Mint Blitz is the only person I know that like, because I just see his montages all the time, that I'm like, his stuff's pretty great. But I don't know anyone else probably.
Like if you
We
could make a
don't watch-
living off just live streaming your gameplay, I guess you would probably be a pro Halo player. I don't know.
I guess, but then that's like saying like Luke and I are pro Halo players, and we're.
Well, you guys, I'm talking like no production at all, no production at
Oh,
all.
right,
Like just
right.
literally you're making money playing the game because your skill is that good.
Right. I don't think anyone on Twitch would have followed us if it was just based off of our skill.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm surprised anybody ever tunes into my Twitch streams because I do them like once a year.
Oh, yeah. Twitch can be fun. Definitely a big commitment though.
Yeah, I have no intention of committing hard to Twitch. I probably will
Right.
just do my Black Mesa playthrough on there, and that'll be it.
Right.
Let's see here. So what is your favorite video you guys put out?
That's a hard one. We get it a lot. I think right now I still feel like I like the Halo 3 last level without a warthog. That kind of started us doing a lot of challenges. I think just like Halo 3, Halo on foot. It's the second one. That one was a lot of fun. It took us a long time, and it was really, really satisfying with how it went start to finish. I was really proud of like how the story was told. I think that one's probably my favorite, but there's definitely some other, like the ODST glyph one was really good recently we put out. I was really proud of that, and the giant search that kind of ensued on social media afterwards and a bunch of people, you know what I mean, with tinfoil hats on, joining us in the Halo conspiracies about ODST. That's been a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that this one that I'm working on right now will be up there at one point, which was another kind of really big, like not conspiracy level, but like mystery from the Halo community. And we just want to retell that story, and it's just really fascinating with how deep it goes.
Yeah, you could definitely take the historical documentary approach to some of the things that have happened in Halo, and that would be an interesting enough video for a lot of people to watch.
Yeah, definitely. There's so much too. So many awesome things have happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about I am hearing a lot from one of you guys and not a lot from the other.
Yeah, Luke.
I mean,
Step it
it's
up.
mostly because like Elijah has the same opinions as me, so my
Okay,
answer would
okay.
just be the same. And I
My
also would have
opinions are
said,
objectively correct.
yes, I guess so. But I also would have said this upcoming video we're working on right now is already like up there for me.
Okay.
I already started editing it a little bit, and it already, feels pretty cool of a project. And then, I did also really like the Vidmaster video, which we also just talked about. I thought it was a lot of fun because I never did those back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun to finally do them all these years later. I didn't do any of them, so.
Oh, none of them?
No, I didn't get my own Xbox till Halo 4. And then I didn't really like Halo 4, so I always played Halo over at friends when we had sleepovers and stuff. So that was the experience I had, the most with Halo back in the day.
That's still a good experience. I mean, I have to imagine some of the best experiences of the Halo, in my opinion, were the multiplayer.
For sure. And then, Reach personally was always one of my favorites because we would play it so much on, just 4-player split screen, multiplayer, local, I think. And, those were some of my favorite memories from Halo back in the day.
Well, I was just going to ask, how long do you think this editing process is going to take for that video?
It really depends on how motivated we are.
Oh my gosh.
It's long, so kind of demotivating at first, but I guess the more you get into it, the quicker it goes, usually.
I'm trying to keep it under an hour, and I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. and that's, it's a lot. That's probably the equivalent of what, 3 videos?
Yeah.
So we might need to
3,
get
4
extra help
videos.
on it.
Yeah,
Fair
or,
enough.
We'll have to put out some other stuff in between.
Right.
We'll see. Yeah.
What would you say your most undervalued or underrated video, the video you expected to perform really well that did not perform well at all? What would you say that video is?
That's a tough one.
I think we did a Destiny 2 video that the algorithm did something weird on it. Where, we didn't expect it to perform very well, but we expected it to perform maybe a little bit better than it ended up doing. Which one was that, Luke? Do you remember?
Destiny outside the map glitches, or
Oh, yeah.
out
Yeah,
of the map secrets or something.
That one was a lot of
There
fun.
it is. It was down there.
Oh, was it? That's it. That hit it.
There we go.
The East.
Glitching out of every Destiny raid.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty low for your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know,
what
the
happened.
algorithm just hit it weird, or maybe, I don't know, I felt like it still being outside the map stuff, it would have probably done decently enough, but I don't know. That's just with YouTube, sometimes just stuff just doesn't hit what you think, but more often than not, we've been lucky enough to have it where, a lot of the videos we put out do a lot better than we expect them to, so we kind of don't get too hung up when something doesn't do too well.
Fair enough. I will pin a link to this video in the comment section below so that maybe we can get a couple more views on it. But yeah,
Cool.
I always like to ask that question because there's usually something that whoever I'm interviewing is very passionate about it or thought it was a really great video, and for some reason it just didn't click. And
Right.
yeah, this seems, like I said, really low for your guys' audience and the normal amount of views I see on your videos. You guys are really killing it, so.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Here's another question that we kind of discussed before we started this segment. Your channel has kind of grown really fast kind of recently. I know you guys said it was kind of a slow burn in the beginning. What advice would you give to somebody starting either in the Halo community or just in general on YouTube?
Oh well.
Well, it's always hard to not give very generic advice. But I would say really I mean, obviously you got to make content that you want to make. Probably helps a lot instead of being forced to make content you don't want to make. But I mean, I don't know. I felt like for us it was really like looking into titles and thumbnails and that kind of stuff. That's what really helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the videos can be interesting, but if the titles and stuff, aren't interesting, nobody's gonna click it. So the SEO part is huge with YouTube, and there's a lot of things like the algorithm will read the text on your thumbnail, or will listen to the first 20 seconds of your audio. So you got to be aware of what you say. Maybe say some keywords. Maybe if you make a Halo video, say Halo in the first 10 seconds, so it'll pick it up. So I guess all these small things. But
It'll add up, yeah.
Yeah, they'll add up, and you just got to be aware of all of it. And yeah, I mean, it's personally what I think would be a valuable tip.
I think also like put work into making really interesting and good quality videos, like videos that you would want to watch. And I mean, if you're already a YouTuber and you don't have a very large audience, if you know what I mean, you work really hard on a video and you don't get as many views as normal, take that, like, don't look into it too much, because it's a different type of content than what your audience is used to, and you'll grow a new audience based off of your higher quality work. But also, like, if you get a good thumbnail, you get a good title, you know what I mean, like that's going to be enticing, but your video also has to live up to the hype of having a good title and a thumbnail. So if you know what I mean, if you feel like your titles and thumbnails are on point every time and your videos aren't getting views, I mean, maybe your content isn't up at that level, or vice versa. If your content's really great, but you know what I mean, the thumbnails and the titles aren't getting a lot of views, or you know what I mean, or you think it's because you're getting a lot of views on your video, but maybe your title and thumbnail aren't up to snuff. Unfortunately, like it's that specific with YouTube. Like, titles and thumbnails are huge. Thumbnails even are like read by the YouTube algorithm. Like, if you have text in your thumbnail, that also plays a factor into how YouTube decides stuff in the crazy algorithm. So we spend so much time on our titles and our thumbnails, and sometimes if we come up with like a topic, like we have to agree that we're gonna have a good title for the video before we pursue it any further. Because if we can't come up with like some sort of decent title that has the keywords we want, that fits in the amount of characters we need, and that sounds enticing, and we have a thumbnail idea with it, then like, I mean, the video won't end up, you know what I mean, like doing as well as we want, and we should pick something else. So that's definitely something we talk about a lot.
Yeah, and we scrap videos just when we can't come up with a title. Like, we'll just not do the topics. Like,
that's true. Yeah. Like we send topics to each other. We're like, okay, I have this idea for a video. Do you think we could title it something before we look into it more? And then we'll like sit there and we'll try to think of a title, and sometimes we can come up with something good, or other times we're like, it's just, there's no way to make this. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
And sometimes we have to think kind of outside the box. Like when we were doing the I Would Have Been Your Daddy Skull Easter egg video, like I mean, it would have made more sense for us to talk about like the real explanation of the I Would Have Been Your Daddy Skull. But like, that's not like a searchable term, really. Like, that's very specific. So like, we had to kind of rework the title for a way that we could still cover that content, but put it in a way where like, at least it'll be interesting for people who don't know what it is. Because we'll introduce it in the video too, and people will get caught up. So it's definitely this really tricky balance that we spend way more time than people probably think trying to figure out.
Thumbnails are kind of a key aspect of YouTube that some people take very seriously and some people don't take seriously at all. So I definitely respect a good thumbnail after having to do so many of them myself.
Right.
The biggest mistake that I made when we started our channel was every episode was named the CHRILLCAST episode, followed by the title and featuring blah blah blah. I was like, I realized after the fact, like, nobody sees these extended titles until they click on the video. So The bulk
Oh,
of
yeah.
what they were seeing was just the CHRILLCAST episode. Da 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 da. It's like, oh yeah, nobody's gonna
Yeah.
click on this. It's
Yeah.
just like an ongoing series of videos that nobody knows what they are.
Right. We go as far as we type up our titles and then we like do a character count on it because we know exactly how many characters show up before like YouTube starts amending part of the title.
Mhm.
So like we have to make sure like the first 67 characters have the most important keywords. And like, you know, some people do studies and they're like, well, this doesn't matter anymore, this, but it's like we have like this checklist that's worked for us that like even if you know the current word is that YouTube's not checking for that anymore, we stick to it just in case YouTube flips the switch back and changes it, and we just keep, you know what I mean, kind of just going with what works.
Yeah, YouTube is very fickle with what works and what doesn't. So if you find a winning formula, it's almost like you would never want to change that, unless
Yeah,
like the
it's-
system completely changed.
Yeah,
Um,
I see a
let's
lot of
here.
people jumping on trends also.
Oh yeah,
And I mean, trends aren't a bad thing, but they should try to incorporate trends into like their existing content strategy and formula rather than like pivoting because of a trend that's going on.
exactly.
So that's also another interesting thing that a lot of small channels might make the mistake of early on.
And how much value would you give to just networking with other channels?
Probably not as much anymore as it used to be.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I don't know. There's just so much content on YouTube. Even if someone gives you a shout out or you appear in someone's video, a lot of times the audience won't go for it. It wasn't like back in the day when like I don't know someone got a shout out by I don't know who Shane Dawson, and then like you know they would also become a YouTuber. I don't think it
Right.
works that way anymore. Like we couldn't give someone a shout out and make their career. I don't know. It's just I guess with just the amount of stuff on YouTube,
Right.
it just has kind of devaluated, I guess. But I mean, it's still fun to work with other content creators, and you can still come up with awesome stuff. But I guess the motives
Yeah.
are different.
And there's
than they
still
were
there's still value in
years ago.
working with individuals, and like talking to people in the community, working with people in the community. Like that's awesome. But as far as like what it does for channel growth, I mean, I don't think we had like anyone in the Halo community even talk to us until we had like a larger subscriber count than what you would probably think would be like needed to like start interacting with other Halo content creators. I think it was only like almost recently like we started to
There was a few that
get a
followed
few-
us early on,
yeah, there were
like Ubernick and stuff. You know, he was
True.
always nice and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and I'm not saying like the people who didn't follow us weren't like or being like rude or anything. It was just like they didn't know who we are because you know what I mean. Like the
Fair
Halo
enough.
communities existed as this thing where it's like these people have been around for like 5 years. Like that's what the community is. In an off year where there's no new Halo game, there's no new Halo game really in sight still at this point. Like we don't have a release date or anything. There's no like huge hype building up yet, and we just kind of have just grown into the niche. It's kind of uncommon. So I think like some people are still like some people have only just found out about us, but like and we've been watching them for years. So it's kind of funny in that regard. Or I mean following them for years. Not to contradict what I said.
Fair enough. I did find it interesting just how, like, have you? I don't know if I'm going to put this in the actual podcast or not, but we'll see. Did you guys reach out to people before, or did they reach out to you guys?
Bit of both.
Bit of both.
Mostly us reaching out, I think, right? Or us
Yeah.
interacting with people. Like,
or just us following someone on Twitter, them following us back.
yeah,
You know.
just sharing. Like, we saw a video that we liked, or we thought a topic was cool, or a meme, or someone tweeted something. Like, we'll, you know what I mean? Like, respond to the tweet and retweet it and interact that way. Because I guess I talked about this a little bit before, but we try not to watch too much Halo
yeah.
content
I
on
get that.
YouTube, mostly because I think we're very inspired by a lot of the content we really like on YouTube. Like we love taking like the way that people tell stories or like these concepts or video editing tricks from the content we watch and trying to incorporate them into our own content. And I think if we watched Halo content, it might be cutting it a little too close if we see an idea or concept or someone says something about Halo, and we almost don't want to like come across that we're like directly copying other people in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So we're always kind of worried about that. Like we don't want to step on anyone's toes either. So like we take elements from, like, we watch Nexpo is a good example of a great channel, not Halo related at all, and he has some great editing, some great storytelling, and we really like that. So we might take a note from how some of his videos are edited or how he tells a story, and then apply that to the Halo community or how apply that to Halo content. And we just are kind of a little worried that if we start looking too close, we would come across as like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like we don't want to take anyone's fire or something like that, or ride on anyone's coattails. So we try to avoid doing that, and then in turn make up for it by being more active on social media and supporting other content creators.
Cool. Yeah, I've always been surprised at how willing most of the Halo community has been to just kind of collab, hop on a podcast, talk about something, especially when it's not, a big lore video like what we do, or just casual conversation with other creators, essentially. And
Right.
I don't know, I just found the ride on YouTube to be really cool. So
yeah, there's a lot of really cool people in the community.
I have found a lot of value in networking from that perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see here. So what are your goals with YouTube?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess there's no real goal. Just make content we enjoy, and then as long as we can keep doing that, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think we'll just keep upping the ante, like trying to like make more thought-provoking videos, more like bigger projects, and just kind of go for there. I mean, as long as we're making stuff we're excited about, we're
Passionate about.
yeah, like I think we'll go good. I mean, I think it will go good. I think if like we start to get really tired of Halo one day, not that like right now I'm still kind of riding this Halo high.
And I mean, we're still waiting for the new one.
We're still waiting for a new one to come out that'll have a ton of content possibilities.
Yeah.
But like if one day down the road though, like we started feeling burnt out of Halo and that we've told all the stories, like I feel like we could pivot, and I think a lot of our audience would still stick around to see like what stories we tell in gaming or what stories we would tell in some other way. And I think that's just more a testament that our community is more focused on how we're telling the stories versus like what the content necessarily is about. And I think that's really cool.
That is something that we strive for on our podcast, is just getting enough people enjoying what we do, whether it's the interviews or any of the other segments. And what you guys have built is really impressive. And having the name like Rocket Sloth, you can kind of pivot without having to worry about the naming being like way off. Like,
Yeah, right.
I know that, for example, we talked to Installation 00, and that is a very Halo-oriented name. And he said, so he started his Lorecore Multiverse channel specifically to be able to do other content. Whereas you guys, if you wanted to pivot on Rocket Sloth, there's nothing tying you to the Halo franchise in your name.
Right.
So
And honestly, like, if someone's name was Halo Fan 36, and they did a bunch of Halo videos, and then they started making really good Call of Duty content, I don't think like their channel wouldn't be good, like their channel wouldn't succeed. But I guess from like a branding perspective, it might be a little weird. But I think honestly, if you're struggling with a name with your channel, like just go for something and just start putting good content out. But yeah, that is really interesting how important like I guess branding can be though in some regards. You know what I mean? Or at least it's a consideration at all points.
And always remember, whatever you make your name has to fit on a shirt at some point, right? The simpler the name. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys ever watch RGT85, but his original name was Retro Gaming. It was Retro Gaming News or Retro Gaming Tube. He pivoted from RGN to RGT. And when somebody's like, if you put that on a shirt, nobody's going to buy it. So he switched to RGT and shortened it down significantly. Like, you guys have a great brand, great logo just from the get-go. And now you have this brand and community focus, and your identity is pretty solid as far as your storytelling. So I think you guys did almost everything right at the beginning, and it has paid off in droves at this point in time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think the big thing is we did get we had experience on YouTube already, so we kind of knew the importance of like kind of nailing the logo and branding stuff. Like we just hired an artist on Fiverr to do our logo after we had the idea, and then we spent the rest of the time just kind of working on making good content and all of that from there. And it still took a long time in that regard. But content strategy is confusing, so
Yeah, I believe it. So now that we're kind of winding down, is there any questions you guys had for us before we delve into the creators that, well, us, I mean me. Will's not here. Any questions for us before we roll into which content creators you guys enjoy watching?
um
Well, we already
What's-
talked about how long you've been doing that stuff. So
yeah, what's next?
How-
What is the plan for the future?
For the CHRILLCAST?
yeah.
So the podcast is obviously going to keep going, and we've been evolving it over time. Like, we're actually experimenting with some new segments. I was about to roll out a brand new segment, but I'm also in the process of our third child's about to be born end of this month.
Oh, congrats.
So my wife and I kind of put that one on the new segment on hold until after we get this new lifestyle together with a newborn again.
Wow.
For the
That's
for
awesome.
the third time. But once that's kind of become the new normal at our house and we get a little more comfortable with it, I'll probably roll out. I've got a new segment I'm working on that'll come out on Saturdays. It'll be a really quick 10-minute video or so. I don't want to give a lot away about it, but it's going to be called Snapback Saturdays. Like, I'm going to be essentially commenting on videos I've seen throughout the week and what I thought about it and give some shout outs, that kind of a thing. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I've got plenty of ideas for it. But
That sounds awesome.
the end goal is that this podcast will allow us to have a community tab. First off, we really want that badly, and that's only 1,000 subscribers, so we're like a little further along than halfway there. But long term, variety podcasts, having lots of cool creators on, doing these interviews. For some, giving the first interview anybody's ever had on their channel. Like, for example, I think Wisefish Gaming said it was his first interview. And then like Skyrion, we gave him his first interview.
That's awesome.
Arash, I hit his first interviews with us. It's just like, we don't want to be just interviewing big creators. We want to interview people we think have the chance to become big creators, up and coming people, and
Right.
let them kind of fail at their first interview if they have to with us, instead of with, like a big channel. And then like, I don't know, give them like that. I don't know how to explain it, but I like to make people I enjoy watching, even if they're a small channel, kind of feel like they're there already, like, we value you, we value what you're doing. And like, Arash was the first one we kind of did that with. Like, we valued what he was doing. We said, this guy needs to be 1,000 subscribers, and he made it there pretty quickly after we talked to him. So it was really cool to watch him build his audience. And then I saw him interview you guys, and I was like, that's really cool. I never would have thought that he would roll into interviews. And then he did that one, he did a couple other ones, and like, just building other people up is like something I find very, very valuable in itself.
Well, me and Arash actually live in the same city, so we
Do
live
you
like
really?
20 minutes. Yeah, we live like 20 minutes apart.
He's a super cool dude. I like Arash a lot.
Yeah.
So wait, did you guys like meet up, or did he?
Not yet because.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah,
So,
fair enough. For SEO reasons we won't mention.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I find it very valuable to just talk to creators that I've been watching for near on 5 years to a decade. Like, for example, talking to someone like Chris Raygun, who I've casually watched, or more aggressively watched in different years and different parts of his YouTube career. Was really cool, because I never would have thought there'd ever be an opportunity to talk to him, or like you guys, or like Hidden Xperia, or any of the Halo community, or even off the Halo community. So being able to talk to all these creators I've been watching over the years has been one of the coolest experiences on YouTube for me, and I want to keep that going for sure.
That's awesome.
And hopefully
That was a good answer.
build kind of an audience as we go.
Right. Of course. I mean, it's cool to have people watching as you document like these types of things you get to do also. So that's awesome.
Yeah, a podcast is like just casual enough that I can not script, but like take notes and keep things together. Like, I sent you guys the outline ahead of time, what we were going to kind of be discussing. But at the same time, it's not so involved that I can't keep up with my day job.
Right, exactly.
So what are some of your favorite content creators?
Do you want to go first? Because I'm sure there'll be overlaps.
Put me on the spot. Okay. Going quick. I really like storytelling type channels I mentioned earlier, like Nexpo or Down the Rabbit Hole, like Frederick Knudsen.
Limited
Um,
George.
yeah, that's another good one. Is it George or Jorge?
I mean, I assume it's Blame It on George, but
I don't know what he
yeah.
refers to himself as. I haven't watched him in a while, but I binge watched like his whole channel when I first found him.
Yeah.
I like Kit Boga,
Oh yeah.
fantastic channel. He does like he essentially like sets up a virtual phone or whatever,
Virtual machine.
and yeah, and a virtual machine for his computer, and he gets all these tech scammers who call him, and he uses like voice changers, and he has this like he does a really great job with his cadence when he talks, where like he can make himself sound like he's like an old woman or like an old man, and he just wastes all of their time, and it's so funny some of the stuff he does. He'll build like a fake bank website so they think they're logged into his bank, and then he shows you how the scam would work, and you know what I mean. He'll trick them into thinking he's going to the store to buy Google Play cards, and then he builds a fake Google Play website and redeems the cards he never bought for himself, but they think that he went and bought the cards and then redeemed them for himself, and they think they just spent all that time and lost all the money that they almost got. And it's just so hilarious. His channel is pretty great. I don't know. I don't know, Luke. Who do you watch?
I mean, some of the stuff you've mentioned, actually all of them. Another one would be like Linus Tech Tips. I watch a lot. Critical, or Penguins Zero,
Yeah,
whatever.
Penguin Zero.
Yeah.
What an odd YouTube name for a channel name for a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, then I mean, his Twitch name is completely different. Than,
Yeah,
you know.
Moist Critical or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. His real name is Charlie, so
Right.
it's like all over the place. Another channel I watch is PokeRef. Like Pokemon, but without the
Okay. Is that
like
it?
Pokemon Revolution. No.
Oh, Rev.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that. He's a newer channel. I don't know, and some ordinary games, or ordinary gamers, I guess. Also another weird YouTube name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the most I can think of right now. Then there's some German YouTube channels that I watch, but I guess they're irrelevant for here. Like, so.
I watch.
don't know. You could try me. I might know some German YouTube channels.
Kronk.
How do you spell that?
No, not K. Sorry, GRONKH. Yeah.
Minecraft. Okay.
Well, that's like from 10 years ago, but yeah.
Oh, it said Minecraft when I clicked on it.
Yeah, I guess it's like, back then. Well, I watch a lot of Twitch too, so.
We can pull up a Twitch tab if you guys want. I must be like one of the weirdos that never watches Twitch, because like everybody's like, oh, I watch this guy and this guy and this guy on Twitch. And I'm like, I don't watch Twitch at all. I mean, I do occasionally, but.
Yeah. I mean, I'll watch like Shroud, sometimes I'll watch like other Halo streamers like Ubernick, Mintblitz. We'll watch Unishack. I think me and Elijah both watch him.
Unishack, yeah.
Yeah. I'll watch TSM Myth sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's more, and there's some I'm forgetting. But
I also watch a channel called Stop Skeletons from Fighting.
Is that on Twitch or on YouTube?
That's on YouTube.
Okay. Oh, I've seen this one before.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun channel. And then sometimes if I decide to kind of break the try not to watch Halo content rule, I might put some General Kid videos on just to see what he's up to, because I always find some cool stuff.
I find it interesting that his channel is General Kid, but he pronounces it General Heed.
Well, he doesn't want to change it.
Right.
Well, he's like, his gamer tag is spelled differently.
Yeah.
But I think it's just he doesn't want to. He would prefer to have it all the same, but I think He's
And
scared how the algorithm will react if he changes it.
Right.
one
right.
more person that we break our no Halo content rule for. If we are in dire need of help on a Halo 2 lasso, we'll watch Halo Completionists.
That is true.
Yeah, we'll study
PhD
the Halo
guides.
Completionists.
If you want to get your PhD in Halo, you got to watch all of Halo
He does
Completionist
awesome
lasso
content.
guides.
Because like he does all the guides. He is the guy.
I have
Watch
definitely
if you want to beat
stumbled
a
on
lasso.
his guides when I've gotten really stuck on things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing a lasso, like it's impossible without some of those levels, like without knowing like what you could do. Like, I mean, on Cairo Station for Halo 2 lasso, if you don't know that you're supposed to like push Sergeant Johnson all the way with you into the first hangar room, like I'm pretty sure you'll be stuck in that room for the longest time. And it's, I mean, the lasso is brutal, so having a guide to walk you through it is nice.
Yeah. Cool. Is there anybody else you guys wanted to mention, or are you guys all done?
There's a lot of people. There's some really
Yeah.
good content creators in the Halo community we're leaving out, but
Yeah. I mean, it's not that we never watch Halo content. You know, I've watched content from everyone in the Halo community. It's just not a
course.
regular thing.
Right.
So yeah.
We're kind
I
of
mean,
in
I don't
the...
think
Oh, go ahead.
there's a single like bad Halo content creator. I think they all make their own content in a good way. You know. Some of them are smaller, like Arash, and some of them are big, but I think they all do really good content. Yeah.
Our good channel, he does like N64 speedrun coverage, which I really
Repeat
like.
that. You kind of broke up when you said the channel name.
Yeah, R White Goose.
Our White Goose.
Oh yeah. The...
Oh yeah,
Channel.
that is definitely a goose in that icon.
Yeah. But definitely some good channel that or good content on that channel.
Cool.
I think the JCS Criminal Psychology channel we also sometimes watch.
A lot of
did we
people
just
mention
subscribe to
them.
that recently?
Yeah, that was like recently.
Yeah, I think I just. Oh, and there was that whole time, Luke, where we like fell down the rabbit hole and we watched all of those Defunct Land and
Oh, you're right.
Yesterworld Entertainment
Yeah,
channels,
and
like, Bright Sun
Abandoned.
Films,
And
Abandoned.
the Dead Mall series. Also, I watched that a lot. I don't know, just like
I forgot all about that. Why aren't they showing up in our subscription?
I actually watched the Dead Mall series like 2 days ago. I don't know why they're not showing up anymore. By Dan Bell. I don't know. He just goes to like empty malls or abandoned malls and just films them and then talks over them, and it's like a mixture between getting the atmosphere and he tells the story of the malls. It's just like, you know, almost something from a different area or not area era. So it's very interesting to follow. One person I always watched is Jontron, but he doesn't upload that much.
Nope.
So you know, I mean, it's almost a meme at this point.
Right.
So yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else that I just missed completely that you guys want to talk about for your channel, or would you guys think we've covered it pretty well?
I think we touched all the bases. Yeah.
Cool. And you guys are still planning to do the Monday and Friday segment. That'll be far quicker than the interview, I promise.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll end the interview here then. So,
All right. Thanks for having us on.
as always, I am Chris.
I'm Elijah.
And I'm Luke.
And we will see you on the next CHRILLCAST.